Hey guys, it's Friday, August 15th, and we are talking about now Hurricane Erin. A couple hours ago, we just got hurricane status. This is the visible loop of Hurricane Erin, currently east of the Caribbean. There was a little bit of buzz earlier today about Invest 98L here in the Gulf. The National Hurricane Center had like a blip for a moment. There was a 40% chance of depression formation. They since have upgraded that to 0% chance. It kind of pulled up out of here, and then there was like a moment where it could have tried to develop into something, but that low pressure center is currently, as we speak, going out over land, so that's not going to become anything, just heavy rainfall. Today we're mostly interested in Hurricane Erin. You can see we've got quite a lot of nice rotation going on in there. Here's the interesting thing. You've got these winds actually going the opposite direction, this outflow, which is a signal of environmental conditions getting very conducive for rapid development. So within the next probably 24 hours or so, we should start to see an eye pretty prominently develop. If we look at visible band, there's no visible eye, but within probably next 24 hours, there should start to be a visible eye as Erin rapidly intensifies. The National Hurricane Center says as soon as 8 a.m. tomorrow, in fact, it could be Category 2. And looking at that evening, Category 3, there is vertical wind shear. It was kind of east-northeast yesterday. Today is more northwest. You can see kind of there's a little bit of a disruption here in the convective structure. The shear should be relatively low in this region here, which will facilitate further intensification. That's partially why we don't have a well-defined visible eye wall yet, is because of this erosion here on the northwestern side. Hurricane hunters flew through this yesterday. These are wind barbs. There's currently a fairly asymmetric wind field. The northeast quadrant up here currently has the strongest wind, partially due to the fact of how quickly Erin is moving to the northwest. This is a hurricane spins counterclockwise like that. That means that this section will have the fastest, most damaging winds. This is the high-resolution HAFS-B model, showing that by Sunday, you have a fairly well-defined core here going on. Here's the European model. Likely, it will peak at intensity right around here in the South Atlantic, probably a Category 3 or 4 even. National Hurricane Center has it going up to 4. So the difference here is the European model has slightly more shear, slowing it down a little bit. So here's the range of model outcomes. The high-resolution HAFS-B model shows a strong major hurricane by Sunday north of Puerto Rico. The European model has slightly more shear initially, slowing the strengthening, but it'll be strong either way, right around here, likely peaking in the southwest Atlantic, Category 3 or 4, as conditions become drastically more favorable. So let's take a look at the steering here. We've got this high here. This is what steered Erin out this way. You can see it sort of follows that curve. So we've got this high here, and then we've got this high over here. High there, and we've got the high there, and then we've got this little door right here. And that's where Erin's going to steer up that way and head on out. Models have been fairly consistent on that. You can see that's still basically what we're looking at. So Erin most likely will turn northeast. It's already actually started, and then actually go up following that high there. It looks like it's actually going to fairly well split the difference between the U.S. coast and Bermuda. So that's pretty much the best of both worlds. Not totally certain on that. You can never be sure, but it looks like both Bermuda and the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic region, will scratch by on that. National Hurricane Center is showing the same thing, moving up like this and heading out, becoming a major hurricane as early as Saturday night. Tropical storm watches are currently in effect for the Leeward Islands, but that's the extent of the current warnings. All right, so let's talk about the impacts. Obviously, the Leeward Islands down here, the rain bands will be on the southern side. So if we go back and look at the structure like we were talking about before, this is on the lower side of the winds down here will be where the Leeward Islands get those bands. So that's good for them. Of course, we're still looking at Bermuda, little close for comfort, but looks like cautiously optimistic that just cuts the difference down the middle there. Regardless, though, there will be a high surf all up and down the East Coast, as well as here out there for Bermuda. Obviously for the Leeward Islands as well. Potentially in spots here, rain bands, inches of rain. So we remain cautiously optimistic for minimal land impact. It's still 5-6 days out from even being close to land. So, models have stayed fairly consistent. Not a whole lot to stress about, but you never know. So have your hurricane plan ready. That's about all the weather talk I've got for you today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you like these videos. Maybe we'll keep doing these, but in the meantime, have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next one.